Hey, Rocky fans, going the distance, the Rocky series podcast fans, and also welcome to any of the franchise podcast fans that have joined us for this director's cut. This is part 2 of the Young Guns franchise crossover episode that we did with friends and fellow podcasters Daniel and Henry of the Franchise Podcast. I highly recommend that if you love movie franchises, which you probably do because you're Rocky fans, check out these guys. Their podcast is called The Franchise Podcast, and they're found on iTunes and all your normal ways of listening to podcasts. Thanks for bearing with us for the last couple weeks as we've done Young Guns and not Rocky. The reason why I did this is because, one, I'm a fan of these guys, and I also think it's important that we support the little podcasts. We know that there are podcasts out there who have a lot of money and a lot of followers, and because of that they have a lot of money and they have a lot of followers, but I think it's important to support the little guys, the small guys. I'm a small guy. I don't have a lot of listeners. Ruben and I don't have a lot of listeners on this podcast. We do what we can, what we have, but we appreciate your support. We appreciate your listenership. And the franchise, I don't know how many listeners they have, of course, but I suspect that they're like us, just a small but loyal following. So I think it's important that we just support each other. I had a lot of fun with these guys doing the Young Guns talk, as the Young Guns movies are one of my favorite movies. So if you want to hear us talk about Young Guns 2, this episode covers Young Guns 2. If you're just looking forward to Rocky, well, it will be out next week, I promise. We'll have another Rocky episode out next week, and next week will be episode 50 of the Rocky Franchise Podcast. It's hard to believe. Thanks for listening, guys, and thank you again to Daniel and Henry of the Franchise Podcast. You guys are awesome, and I hope to be on your show again, and thanks for it away coming online.
Young Guns 2, guys. It's 2 years later. John Fusco's back behind the typewriter. We have a new director, Jeff Murphy. And if you thought Christopher Kane didn't have a career, you haven't met Jeff Murphy.
Yeah, but he's better.
I do agree it's a better-looking movie, but, I mean, this guy's doing nothing these days.
But he did Under Siege 2.
He did do Under Siege 2. We like full titles, Dark Territory.
And he did Free Jack.
I've never seen Free Jack.
Me neither.
See, I saw it in the theaters.
How about that?
I have Under Siege 2 in the theaters as well.
I have seen Under Siege 2.
And wait, before you continue, Jeff Murphy, not only are you talking about him, but he got demoted to, did you see this? Got either of you guys that he now became a second unit director on Lord of the Rings?
Ooh, I see this, and Triple X State of the Union, which we'll cover.
That's depressing. Like, you were at the helm of a couple of big movies, and then you're second unit director on, oh boy.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I felt like he was like a friend of mine who got demoted or something. It was
Poor
terrible.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was released August 1st, 1990. That's right, the day after I turned 4.
Oh,
and a budget of $10 million. Box office, $44 million.
So you ready for the inflation on this?
Yeah.
This was $1 million less than the first movie, number one. So it's very odd for a film to come in under on its second film when they know it's going to be kind of a bigger draw, or hope that'll be a bigger draw, because you know how budgets kind of get inflated, right, on the second movies?
Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. It's interesting.
It is interesting because this budget includes the cast, paying the cast. So very low budget.
But it is a slightly smaller cast than in the first one.
True. And then the box office was 44, but so basically it would be about 20 million $20 million budget and about 90 million box office. So it still made money.
Yeah, big time. It's a hit. And, you know, if this came out today, I think they'd have figured out a way to do Young Guns 3.
Good point.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. But not back then. It was number 30 in the box office for the year. And
I helped with that.
You helped a bunch, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just ahead of Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get that. Anyways, I'm always surprised by what movies are around these movies that I like. I'm like, are you kidding me? Who's the idiots that saw Gremlins 2 and not yet? Like,
Gremlins 2 is great.
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, Hank, we got to do Gremlins.
Well,
I'm
we
sorry.
will.
This
Yeah,
is my
yeah.
rant. This is my rant.
All right,
No,
go
I-
ahead, go ahead.
I just don't know who goes up to the box office counter. Like, okay, guys, here we are to see a movie on the big screen. Do you want to watch a couple puppets eating through the fridge of, someone's fridge, or do you want to watch a western with these guys who know how to act? And it's going to have everything in this movie: action, acting. Like I don't get watching puppets eat things.
No. But Young Guns 2 is slightly ahead of Gremlins 2.
Oh, slightly ahead. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It got its comeuppance.
Yeah. I'll tell you what is right behind Gremlins 2.
Oh.
Directly behind Gremlins 2, Ryan.
Shut up.
A little movie called Rocky 5.
Whoa!
I know it stinks. It stinks.
Oh, I
You know-
was
you know
so
what's
excited when I saw that.
It's the worst Rocky movie. I mean,
Well, yeah, it was a box office, but it's funny. Though a box office failure in the eyes of the other parts of the franchise, still made money. Still
It's
made
true.
money.
Ryan, real quick, rank the Rocky movies.
Okay, you got in order of greatest to least. You've got Rocky 1, Rocky 4, Rocky Balboa.
Ooh.
Rocky 2, Rocky, then Creed, then Rocky 3, then Rocky 5.
Were you mad I ranked Creed the best Rocky movie?
I thought it was kind of a dick move.
yeah, it was. I agree with you, Ryan. It was a dick move.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't have my notes in front of me, but my rankings.
You had Balboa high.
I did.
Yeah.
I think my rankings more closely resemble Ryan's rankings.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rocky Balboa definitely redeemed both Stallone as writer, director, and actor, and the franchise. It did everything it was supposed to do. That's why it rates so high for me.
Yeah. Young Guns 2, back here, just behind in the box office, a re-release of The Jungle Book.
Really?
Yeah.
The cartoon, I guess.
Yeah. And Frank Miller's RoboCop 2.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Frank
I
Miller,
saw that. I saw that in the theaters, by the way.
Yeah.
Frank Miller wrote RoboCop.
RoboCop 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Frank Miller was back then. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't a big comic guy back then.
Sure,
I
sure.
met Frank Miller. He's a fucking maniac.
He's
I've
a
heard.
nice guy, though. I've met him a few times.
He's a nice guy, but he's a nut.
Oh,
job.
he's an insane. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Anyway, we'll
okay.
tell that story another time. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Young Guns 2. Can I just talk about the opening and then you can do the plot, right?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
All right, it opens and I'm in. We've
Yeah.
got a young Bradley Whitford going by Brad Whitford.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
The cast, I gotta say, overall cast, better in Young Guns 2.
Yeah, well, you get better actors all around. Yeah.
Yeah. Then an old man walks up to him.
Mr. Roberts? William Roberts? Thought you lost me. You weren't kidding, were you? Charles Phelan, sir. Stackpole, McPhee, Lassiter, and Phelan. Attorneys at law. How you doing? So, what is it I can do for you, sir?
I'm dying, and I want to go before the governor. I want to be pardoned
Pardoned? For what?
for the killing of 21 men. I was promised a pardon 70 years and 3 months ago. And you tell him that you're bringing in Rushy Bill Roberts, alias William Antrim, also known as William H. Bonney,
Whoa. William H. Bonney?
alias Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid, huh?
You're like, who's this guy? Then you realize, oh, it's Emilio Estevez in old age makeup.
Really bad. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, it's really bad.
And the movie is narrated by old Emilio Estevez. And so it's so weird. I was able to get into the movie, but then every so often you just hear Emilio Estevez's voice going like, "We were pals back then." Oh, it was
What I want to tell you is historical fact that took place a year after the Great McSween Fire of 1878, what some call the end of the Lincoln County War.
It's crazy.
So I saw this in the theaters, and I was all bought in, ready to go and watch this thing. And this is before spoilers or trailers reveal too much. And I'm sitting, now the truck actually drives by first. And we see this truck drive by.
Oh, and you're like, what era is this?
Yeah, I'm like, am I in the right theater?
Yeah.
And so, then that's what they were going for, right? They were going for that, and it worked. So it's a little fun play on the audience. Like,
I actually do like that.
So yeah, it worked. I was like, okay, well, and I kind of felt taken out of place a little bit, like what's going on here? And so when this guy started talking to this old man, even though I was like, okay, I thought Billy was dead. What's going on? What's happening here? Because I didn't know anything about Rushy Bill Roberts being who he claimed to be and all that stuff. But it's an interesting take on the movie because in this film, we are to believe that Billy did not get killed by Pat Garrett, long story short, and that this character is, narrating the life of his time with the gang. And so in some ways, I think it worked for me. I kind of liked it. Because it works because it ties up the way it does in the end. A lot of, again, Young Guns fans love the way the movie ends and how it ends. They love that dramatic kind of movement with the music playing, with him walking away with the horse, and it's effective. Again, I say this speaking to any Young Gun fans listening, they will agree with me that the way the movie ends, they all love the end.
I never stole a horse from someone I didn't like. Did I like him? Hell no. I love the son of a bitch. You asked me if I have scars. Yes, sir. I have my scars.
Mr. Roberts. Bill, wait. Bill!
Ryan, you seem to presuppose that there are Young Guns fans out there.
Oh, are you kidding? Oh,
Okay.
no, dude, you have no idea how big this. Okay, I actually wanted to bring this up. Now's a good time to bring this up.
Okay.
You know Cinema Score, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how it works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now these movies now you probably know this on Rotten Tomato. You probably saw this. Oh, Rotten Tomato, they give this a 35% approval rating. You know what the Cinema Score is on these two movies?
What's that?
A- for both.
Hey, the people are always right.
Well, people enjoy them. They go to the movie and they walk out and said, "I had a great time."
Yeah.
And
I did have a great time watching these.
And I think that's what. So, but yeah, are there stuff that doesn't work and blah 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 and that? Like I get it, but
honestly, Ryan,
Stuff that doesn't work and blah blah blah.
That's kind of what we do here, and you know.
I love it. No, I love it. And I want you guys to talk to that, but I wanted just to bring that up just as a. Because you asked the question, are there Young Guns fans? Sure. You go on YouTube, there's like millions of views for clips and scenes, and people comment, greatest movie, greatest scene, all this stuff. So they're out there, and I'm one of them.
Why isn't Young Guns available anywhere?
Yeah, man.
It is on DVD, but it's fun. It's one of those weird, hard to find films. You're right. It took me forever to get it on DVD.
I had to watch it on Putlocker, which is illegal.
Yeah,
I was able to find Young Guns too, but Young Guns, I had to literally pay for it on my television, which in 1 year of this show, I have never had to do.
I have literally never seen a movie not available streaming on Amazon.
I love it. I love it. It's just like a soundtrack. It's hard to find. It's like this holy grail.
Okay, let's talk about the soundtrack.
I'm glad this soundtrack isn't available.
This soundtrack. Okay.
Dan already know. I mean, I don't think I should talk about it. I think it's upsetting.
So Emilio Estevez asked John Bon Jovi if they could use Wanted, Dead or Alive in Young Guns 2. John Bon Jovi, because he's the most annoying person in the world, said, I don't think the lyrics really work for your movie. But he was so inspired by Young Guns 2 that his first solo album, away from Richie Sambora and the gang, is entirely comprised of songs inspired by Young Guns 2.
Love it.
It's crazy. And especially the movie that we hear, I mean the song that we hear over the closing credits.
Yep.
Blaze of Glory.
Burned it off.
I didn't. I
Love
listened to
it.
the whole thing.
Wake up in the morning and I raise my weary hair. I've got an old coat for a pillow, and the earth was last night's bed. I don't know where I'm going, only God knows where I've been. I'm a devil on the run, a six-gun lover, a candle in the wind. Yeah! Brought into this world with this say you're born with sin. Well, at least they gave me some. I didn't have to steal or have to win. Well, they tell me that I'm wanted. Yeah, I'm a wanted man. I'm a
Love it.
I-
Absolutely love it.
I despise Bon Jovi. Like, I remember a couple weeks ago I said about Grease, Dan,
Yes.
and Ryan probably remembers this if he heard the episode.
I heard the episode. Yep.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Bon Jovi. He's in my top 10 most hated things of all time.
No, I have very specific feelings on Bon Jovi.
So do I. He's garbage, but
Okay.
go ahead.
I'm not that into Bon Jovi when they rock out and get inspirational. It's My Life is one of the worst songs ever written. But
It is his life.
here's what I like. When
Mhm.
I like soft, tender Bon Jovi.
Ugh.
So you want to put on Bed of Roses?
Ugh.
Yes, please. I do want John Bon Jovi to lay me down in a bed of roses. You want to put on Always? I'll listen to that song forever and a day.
I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link then, Daniel. I'll send you a link. The best song from this soundtrack isn't in this movie, but it'll fall right up what you're talking about. I think you'll genuinely like it, and it's totally inspired by the life events of Billy the Kid. It's speaking through his mind or through his eyes.
Are you a fan, Ryan, of Bon Jovi?
I've seen him live in 2008. I'm not a fan the way I am like with some other bands. I think I was just able to go see the show, and I had a great time. They obviously put on a professional. They're
Did they
seasoned.
play Blaze of Glory?
He did play Blaze of Glory.
What?
Yeah, I'm not joking. He did.
Oh, dude, you must have been losing it.
Well, it's funny. It's actually I'm a big fan of the Young Guns 2 soundtrack, but it's actually like how some singles you just kind of skip over because you hear them so much. So I don't get that excited by that song. There's other songs on the album that I genuinely really really like because I really really like the movie, and so it is kind of like a musical soundtrack to the movie. So everything you're saying is legit, but I buy into it.
I'd never heard Blaze of Glory, and Hank, I was into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait a minute. You never heard Blaze of Glory?
No.
That's
How is
awesome.
that possible?
I'd
Well,
never-
you had okay. Well, to be fair, Henry, you never seen these movies at my age. How is that possible?
That's true, but I mean, Blaze of Glory is like it's all over the place. I mean, I heard it. I couldn't avoid it. I'm just surprised because Dan hears a lot more popular music than I do, and I'm surprised that
I was 4 when this came out.
Yeah.
that
that's
doesn't
fair.
matter. I mean, I'm surprised that's never your excuse, by the way. And
There's some movies that I just haven't seen just because they came out at a certain time and place in my life. It's just weird, like Midnight Run. Like that's for example. Like
Okay,
there's no
yeah,
reason
yeah.
why there's no reason why I shouldn't have seen this movie, but I just haven't yet.
but sitting down to a movie is different than not having heard a song. That's very different.
I don't know. I've listened to a lot of Bon Jovi, but maybe I haven't investigated the solo oeuvre.
No, well done.
Yeah.
I think this is his only solo album. Was this soundtrack?
Yeah, that's right.
and-
It's his
and,
one
who-
solo album. He was only inspired to write by Young Guns 2.
I love it. I love how everyone just bought in. I don't know. I get a kick out of it. Another interesting side note: Jeff Beck was the guitar player on the album
Yeah,
See,
I saw
Jeff
him.
Beck happens to be a great guitarist.
because he bought in. He knows the power of Young Guns.
Oh, stop.
I saw him live, Hank. Jeff Beck.
There you go.
Yeah.
It was
Right,
pretty
not-
boring.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we didn't even do the plot.
Yeah, please do the plot like quick because we're
Oh,
we're
God,
running long.
I know we're running long, and I'm sorry. I blame myself because I'm a bit of a talker.
I
and
blame you too.
No.
I just love these movies. I feel like I haven't talked anything about these movies. I could just geek out on this so much, but that's okay. We're giving the audience, your audience, what they want. Maybe not mine, but your audience what they want.
I think
yeah.
you know what I think you should do, Ryan. This is gonna be posted under your podcast feed in sort of a director's cut.
Yeah.
And I think you should add tidbits if you got tidbits to add.
I like what you guys do. It's good. Yeah, my feed's PG, so I'll have to edit some stuff. But
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't know
really?
that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
well, yeah, my brother and I, we just decided that we'd make the podcast PG the same way, the vein that the films are in.
Oh,
that's
you
cool.
delicate Canadian sensibilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
But I love your guys'. I love it. I love your humor. Basically, this plot. Yeah, so basically, we start off right away that Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid are friends.
Sure.
We see that right away, that they're traveling buddies. They've already had a kind of relationship with each other. The plot's pretty simple. He's still stealing cattle. He's never stolen a horse from someone he doesn't like. So he's just making money illegally, and he's semi still on the run. The powers that be, well, I don't know, they're different positions, but the powers that be want to catch Billy, want to put him under, and so Pat Garrett decides that he wants to go own his own cafe, and he wants to call it Garrett's Place. He leaves the gang, but in the interim, of course, Billy's pissed off at him for leaving, and then Pat goes to start his own business, but the government comes in and says, look, we'll give you more money if you just hunt down the person that you traveled with, because you know his haunts, you know his hideouts, you know how he works. It's actually good logic. You take this guy in, and we'll basically give you the money that you need to start your own business and become a legit man. Pat Garrett buys into that. He sees the green and chases down Billy.
Yep, so Billy assembles a new crew of regulators. He brings back Kiefer. Kiefer Sutherland insisted on dying in this movie.
Yeah, very Harrison Ford of him.
It's interesting that he asked to be killed, and so I read that before I watched this movie, and I
Okay.
expected him to die really early on in the movie, but
Yeah.
instead we just don't get a lot of Kiefer in this movie. Like, he's sort of off to the side in a lot of scenes, and then
Well,
he
they
dies
don't-
towards the end.
Yeah, they don't film movies
Sequentially,
And-
yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, he didn't have a lot of scenes, and they probably just filmed them all very quickly, but put him at the end of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an odd way to go. Then we've get Lou Diamond Phillips is back. He's
Yeah.
more Indian than ever in this movie. Just everything
love
that
it.
comes out of this guy's mouth is like, "Well, the ancient spirits," and leave me alone.
I love it. I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, his hair is a little bit longer. He looks like a Mexican lady on the corner with bottles of
Yeah.
collecting bottles of the garbage can in the.
Oh.
It's crazy. He looks like the crying Indian. We get some new characters. Mr. Robot himself, Christian Slater. He's in there as Arkansas Dave Rutabaga or something.
Rutabaugh. Dave
Yeah.
Rutabaugh. They know my name. They know my name. Yeah.
Yeah. He's great. He's great in this. And you know what? They killed Dermot Mulroney in the first one, and you need that unhinged, maniacal presence in these movies, and Slater gave it to me.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to mention that. Good job. This you could argue it suffered or didn't suffer because of that. They killed the Dirty Steve character. Now, the Dirty Steve character is a fictitious character, and so ironically, they replaced him with a real life person, which was Dave Rutabaugh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We also have Alan Ruck, sort of playing a Western version of Cameron from Ferris Bueller.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a sad sack, and then at the end he has a moment of clarity, and he's like, "No, my name is,
Henry
Yeah.
William French.
Yeah, it's and it's great. And honestly, I think Emilio Estevez is even better in Young Guns 2 than he is in Young Guns, and so he's my MVP.
Yes, he
But-
is. He's amazing. Yeah.
But if he was not, it'd be Alan Ruck.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I loved Alan Ruck in this movie. We also have a very young Balthazar Getty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, he's a guy that no one has ever known what to do with him. He's just sort of wandered through Hollywood.
Yeah, I think the first thing I ever saw him in was Lost Highway when I saw it in the theater.
The first thing
Oh,
I ever
wow.
saw him in was Alias.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he shows
Okay.
up on that. But yeah, I honestly I think the only guy that knows what to do with him is David Lynch.
Well, he did a good job in this, though. He did a really good job in this movie.
Well,
as Tom.
I didn't even know it was him until after the
Oh.
movie. So yeah, it is a good performance, but it's just so weird that it's Balthazar Getty.
And since we're talking about him, his death in this movie was done really well. He acted that death very well.
And it works. It's sad. You genuinely care about that character.
And
Yeah.
that's how he died. That's the character Tom O'Philliard. He's a real life kid. He was 21 when he's older in real life than he was portrayed in the movie. But he was shot and killed by Pat Garrett.
Which brings me to Pat Garrett, and I think that's the biggest problem with this movie. You have William Peterson, an actor I adore.
Okay. I'm surprised you're going to say what you're about to say, but go on.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm going to disagree with this.
Okay,
but-
I love him, of course, in Manhunter. Every time Billy Peterson comes up, I have to bring up Manhunter. And To Live and Die in L.A.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But I think Pat Garrett is underwritten in this movie.
Maybe it's the fault of the writer. Okay. fair
That's
enough.
what I'm saying. I think the performance is excellent.
The William Peterson's performance as Pat Garrett, when I first saw this as a teenager, I thought at the time, so this will go, I'll save my LPV, MPV for later because it might be surprised. But it's interesting how my first time, I would have said that his performance was my LVP.
Yeah,
I
really.
I did not like Pat Garrett as a character or actor back, but I funny enough, now I'm a little bit older and wiser, I like him better now than I did when I was 20 something.
Well,
that's-
spoiler alert, he's my MVP.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I think he's great.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I was surprised seeing this for the show, how much more I think, boy, I really like his performance today. I don't know why. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Let me just throw a couple other actors out there because this cast is so flush.
Yeah.
You got James Coburn,
Mm-hmm.
the great James Coburn, hanging around
Yeah.
this movie. You've got an actor I've talked about a lot on this show, insanely underrated. Henry, I'll bring him up
Bradley
again.
Whitford.
No,
Bradley
no,
Whitford.
of course Bradley Whitford. I love Bradley Whitford. Come on, I've brought him up so many times.
So, side note, as a fan of your show, I actually thought about you, Daniel, when Brad Whitford came on, because I know you like The West Wing.
That's right. I love the West
See?
Wing.
Well, that's
I don't know, man. What?
Robert Nepper.
Okay.
He's
Deputy Carlisle.
This is like the fourth movie we've covered that Robert Nepper has shown up in, and
Really?
yeah,
Oh.
and he's here with a big old mustache, which I
Oh,
enjoy.
is he in X-Files?
I don't know. Let me look him up right now, and I'll tell you what he's been in.
So just
talk about something
Henry,
else.
just so you know, he was. Well, I'll tell Henry. The guy that he played in this movie was he was the one that was dressed up to look like an Indian and got shot by the mob.
Yeah. Oh, right.
He's the one that says those people out there, they want to do things their way. I want to do things the law way.
Gentlemen? Oh. Gentlemen, which of you is the leader of your gang?
That would be me.
Gentlemen, I am a deputized man, and I do things law way.
Which way?
Law way.
Law way. I see. Okay. Go ahead.
Now, the people out there, they do things their own way. They got their mind set on a hanging. Now, it's gonna be hell if I can't control this situation. So, what I propose is this. I understand you have an Indian in your group.
Yes, sir. Jose Chavez y Chavez. He's a Mexican Indian. How'd that be?
Well, that'll be just fine. If I can give this Indian to those people out there, they'll be well satisfied. The rest of you can just ride out.
You hear that, Chavez? Sir, I agree to those terms. They're an angry mob indeed, and we do happen to have an Indian on the premises.
Deputy Carlisle.
That's right.
Right. He's in my superhero count.
He was in Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. That's probably
right.
the last time we covered him.
Yep.
I guess not other stuff, but he'll show up again. He's been in a bunch of...
He did a great part. That little sequence he did, again, like a lot of side... This is what I love about both these films, actually, is a lot of these side, like, one-scene characters just really bring it all to the table.
It's well cast. They've also... I mean, Leon Rippey is a good actor who's in this movie. Viggo Mortensen, insanely young.
Yeah.
Yes, love it.
Yeah, Scott Wilson from The Walking Dead, among other things. And I'll tell you the most underrated performance in the movie, because I didn't know this actress and I thought she was great. Jenny Wright as the lead hooker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is good. Yeah.
Really good.
Cool.
Well, there's a lot of hookers in Part 2. Like, that's a big subplot.
You can quote me on that.
Yeah.
So
you
nice.
also see Emilio Estevez's butt at one point in this movie. Yeah.
It's PG-13. Basically, this Young Guns 2, with all of its death, violence, brutality, and nudity, and cursing, is the same rating as Harry Potter.
And it's called Young Guns. It sounds like a kid movie. I always thought these were like kid movies.
And you didn't see any trailer or anything when you went into these movies.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I didn't look up anything about them. I didn't even know that it was a Western when I started watching the first one.
That's awesome.
No.
What's wrong with you?
No, I think maybe I did, but just because I IMDb'd it. But when we agreed to do these movies, I didn't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that. I really wish, not to sound creepy, but I really wish I could have been there when you guys watched this for the first time. I always like to watch that.
Yeah. All right. What else do we have on Young Guns 2? Henry, anything?
I got a superhero count.
Oh.
We're already finishing this up.
No, Ryan, what do you want to talk about?
Wow. I know it's been long, and I apologize for you guys have been... Well, I don't know. This movie is just so full of one-liners and scenes and moments. Remember when Pat Garrett was with his little dude that was writing his life story?
Yeah.
And that whole sequence there when they talk about when the guy kept taking craps everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the Indians come down and he starts speaking like native language to them, whatever. And then Viggo Mortensen says, "Oh, I think I got to have a movement."
Yeah. That's a great poop joke.
Yeah, it's just when I saw it in the theaters, that got quite the guffaw. I'll tell you.
Bet. I like the scene where Emilio Estevez is telling his buddy Pat to get out of here, and it's like someone like sending their sick dog off into the woods or something. He's saying like, "Go on, get." I really enjoyed that.
This credit goes all to Jeff Murphy. Well, one to Emilio's performance, but you got stuff where he yells out, "That's the best $1.80 I ever spent." That's a great build-up sequence. That's a good
line.
That made me laugh.
I got 18 dimes in each barrel, boy. You ever see what $1.80 can do to a $40 steer? Let alone a cheap little crook like yourself. Just taunt me again, boy. That's all I'm asking. Just taunt me again.
Yoo-hoo, Bill. I'll make you famous. Don't do it, Bill. Bill, come on, don't do it. I ain't kidding. Bill! That was stupid, Bill. Bill, kill the kid? Oh, Bob! Bye, Bob. Best $1.80 I ever spent.
Because that's a great build-up sequence, and the reason why I want to make sure you guys never saw any trailers before watching this, they spoil that in the trailer.
Oh no!
Oh, really?
Yes, but what I love about it is the build-up, because he mentions I've got 18 shots and all these and a dime a piece or whatever, and he's like, you see what a $1.80 can do to a $40 steer, but this was like 15-20 minutes before the payoff.
Yeah.
And I love that, because it's like, if it happened right after, it'd be too easy, but I love how it happened much later. And just Emilio's performance with everything, even when he goes out to the outhouse and he's hiding behind the guy with the gun who's not too bright. Emilio's acting in these two movies as Billy the Kid, it's like he was born to play this role. I just can't say enough good things about how he did.
I think Emilio's great. I liked so much stuff with him in the second one in particular. I liked him in the first one a lot, but the second one is less of an ensemble piece. In the first movie, we get a lot of scenes of the other regulators talking about Billy the Kid, but it's such a makeshift group of regulators in the second one that the movie rests a lot more heavily on Emilio Estevez's shoulders, and I think he handles it really well.
So I know you guys want to talk the Chisholm scene. We're talking about Chisholm. That whole sequence with when Billy the Kid challenges the guy who's fastest with the draw.
That's Coburn?
Yeah, James Coburn's scene. And it's like, I'm going to kill a man for $5. Every man I kill will knock $5 off the $500 you owe me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that sequence where I didn't see it come in the theater, so he puts the guns down. I remember thinking, oh, Billy, you're good. Well, you're not that good. How are you going to reach your guns and shoot that guy? And he's like, Dave. And Dave shoots the Mexican.
Everything all right, Mr. Chisholm?
Yes, everything's fine. Go on and bring the men in, and we'll have a little fresh coffee with the boys here.
Yoo-hoo! I'll make you famous. Mr. Chisholm, which one of these boys is the fastest with the iron?
Don't you do it, Billy.
That'd be me.
You. Drop Sam Cole.
Billy?
Put her down now. Step away. You owe me $500, Mr. Chisholm. So what I'm gonna do is kill one of your men for every $5 you owe me. Only I'm gonna do it fair. How's that for square? Now, when I go for my guns, you start shooting. But I promise you, you will not make it. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Dave?
You just killed yourself. Bonnie, you are a fool. You call yourself the scourge of New Mexico. Well, by God, I am New Mexico. And you are dead.
Let me tell you something, Mr. New Mexico. I wouldn't give a bucket of piss for your future. Get out, boy. You have yourself a good day now.
And then the other guy goes for his gun. Yeah, it works. It really does work. And then Henry William French is having a hard time grabbing his gun. And he can't quite grab it, but Doc kills the other guy.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And then and I just love that. I just love that whole performance by James. He goes, "You just killed yourself, Billy."
yeah, that was nice.
Just there's a lot of great dramatic moments. I don't know. It's amongst its funny and comedic moments. There's just some really good, even dark moments. We didn't mention in part one that was when he killed that traitor guy. Remember the guy who was an insider from the other gang?
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, I should have sniffed you out earlier."
You don't understand, Dick. By killing Henry Hill, you all started a war.
By killing Mr. Tunstall, you all started the damn war, Baker.
Just the same, we're talking 50, 60 men. Get your what, 6 or 7? We're with the ring, Dick.
We're gonna bury you. You can believe that.
Quiet, Bonnie. Taking you to jail. No killing.
Objection, Your Honor. These boys are going to the grave in the name of John Tunstall.
I said quiet, Billy. I don't need that kind of talk. Law don't talk like that.
Yeah, well, law don't kill innocent merchants either, do it.
Take the son of a bitches up to Capitan Mountain and blow their brains out. What do you say, Steve?
Hey, Billy, easy. I don't think we should go by way of South Fork. I think Murphy will be watching the trail in. They'll ambush us. I think we should go straight through to Lincoln.
Hey, what? I saw that.
What? What'd you see? What'd you see?
He knows what I just saw.
What you talking about?
Where's the ambush, McCloskey? In Lincoln? You're trying to steer us away from Capitan because you know your men, Murphy's men, are waiting to jump us in Lincoln.
Billy, what are you talking about? McCloskey's with us. He's a regulator.
Yeah, but he used to ride with Murphy. That's what I'm talking about.
That was a long time ago.
He's a spy!
He's been with us. We made a pact, right, McCloskey?
Right, Billy. Come on.
I'm sorry, McCloskey.
Hey, it's all right. We're all upset about John.
Sorry I didn't sniff you out soon, you damn traitor.
Billy! Oh, God!
Court adjourned.
Moron! You're out of line! on, you son of a bitch!
Richard, he was right. McCluskey was acting strange.
Well, then that means we just killed 3 more Murphy men, right?
Right.
Oh, Brady's gonna hang us for sure now.
What are we doing now, Dan?
Quiet! Let it close that fucking lip for a damn second and let me think.
We better skin out of here.
Okay, everybody. Skin up the river.
Come on, dog.
Now! Come on. You better stop believing the newspapers. You ain't no captain, and you sure as hell ain't no Robin Hood.
Whatever you say, Dick.
That is a dark, brutal scene. I don't know about you guys.
No, it is. You're right.
The movies are a lot darker than I was expecting them to be, and at first that bothered me because I thought what I was in for was a real Fletch situation. Where I'm watching this like forgotten, fun '80s classic. But
no, it's dark.
Yeah. Then when I realized, like, it took me like halfway through the first movie because the credits come up and they're kind of silly in like an awesome way. And I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want this movie to be. And then it took me a while to realize, like, oh, no. This is like a Western. Like, this is an actual Western movie. Yeah. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but I ended up enjoying myself watching them.
And before we end, I want to ask you guys, do you buy the story of Brushy Bill Roberts or
no, I don't. And I think it's irresponsible of Young Guns to at the end state that was fact.
Yeah, I agree.
Because at the end of Young Guns 2, you get the thing where, you get Chirons on the screen telling you, like, what happened to each member of the cast, which I love. I'm always a fan of that in movies. The best use of that, I think, ever is the Friday Night Lights movie.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very last one is, Brushy Bill, he listen, they said he wasn't Billy the Kid, but he definitely was. And I'm like,
not really. But
no, I know.
They leave a little bit empty because I like how they just state that he went to his grave believing that he was.
All right, Hank, what's the superhero count?
I got 5.
All right.
Yeah, I got Balthazar Getty.
Okay.
Who's in Judge Dredd.
Oh wow.
Oh God.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Your buddy Robert Knepper played the Clock King in Arrow and the Flash.
Yeah, I know. That came up during Mockingjay too.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, then this guy did too because he's been in a couple things we've covered. Tracy Walter was in Batman, the Tim Burton one.
Okay.
And he was. And he was in a cartoon of Justice League and the Teen Titans.
Okay.
Bradley Whitford.
Or Brad Whitford at the time. But
yeah, that's right. He was just Brad.
Right. Was Agent Carter in a one-shot playing a character named John Flynn. I don't know if you knew that, Dan.
Oh, yeah, that's one of those. Marvel makes these short films that you can only see on the DVDs of their movies.
Yeah.
That's one of those.
And then my final one is Scott Wilson was also in Judge Dredd.
We got to do Judge Dredd.
I know.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the new one with Keith Urban or the Stallone?
No. I think
Keith Urban. No, it's Carl Urban.
Oh, Carl Urban. Keith Urban. Sorry.
Oh, that's funny.
I love Keith Urban. Keith Urban is just aging into Rod Stewart every day.
You're right.
Yeah.
Who's she married to?
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Oh, Lord.
I love how he any man that straightens their hair is just a beautiful man.
Yeah. What else you got, Hank? That's it?
I got an MVP, LVP.
Well, what's our 5-star rating first?
I'm going to go with a 3 because, again, like the first one, I feel like it was totally entertaining, but I didn't feel like there was much more to it than that.
I'm also going to give it a 3. And I'll tell you, ranking these movies, I'm going to rank Young Guns 2 higher than Young Guns.
Yeah, I will too. Yeah.
And part of that is just, they have a similar structure, and almost everything is like as good as the first one, except the interlude in the middle. Young Guns 1 has the peyote, and Young Guns 2 has the great brothel stuff. And I vastly prefer that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And your LBV?
No, Ryan, what's your...
Well, you'll be surprised. It's funny how time changes things.
Mm-hmm.
Time, your tastes and everything. I think the first one, is a great standalone movie, and I think the second one suffers from being a sequel they didn't know they had coming.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So because of that, it suffers enough that I give it a 4.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
So
But I
you
give-
rank Young Guns ahead of Young Guns.
Yes, but again, it just bugs me that they didn't see this coming, because I think they could have fixed a lot of the issues that I have. Because my MVP, of course, is Emilio again, because it is basically Young Guns 2, the Emilio Estevez story.
Yeah.
My LVP is actually Christian Slater.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow.
No, and I'll tell you why. Because again, time and age, right? Maybe I think when I first watched it, and I loved Christian Slater back in the day, Cuffs.
Love Cuffs.
Yeah.
So, but I think in this one, I was actually really distracted by. I really looked at it as this is the Dirty Steve replacement. The chemistry that he had with the rest of the gang, even though he wasn't supposed to have the chemistry, I almost wonder how much of it was played on and off screen. I don't know. I didn't buy into his character at all. His performance was not. It didn't age well for me. It didn't age well. Yeah, I kind of saw through it. I just felt like I was watching Christian Slater with the long hair.
I'll tell you what else didn't age well: Billy the Kid. And that's and that's why my MVP is Emilio Estevez, and my LVP is Emilio Estevez.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know what he ate in 2 years, but I
That's brilliant. I love it.
I was hoping that we could go this episode without mentioning. Okay, well we did.
My MVP is William Peterson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think he's great, and my LVP is Bon Jovi.
Who is the cameo in this movie? We didn't mention that.
Yeah.
He's the cameo kill.
Yeah.
Screw him. Yeah, he's my LVP.
Bon Jovi. Did you know that, Hank? You know the hospital where you came to visit me and I fell in love with my nurse?
Yes.
Did you know that is the hospital that Bon Jovi was born in?
Oh wow.
No, I did not.
That's a fact.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I'm a good friend.
Yeah, you are. Okay, let's wrap this baby up. We want to shout outs to some listeners.
Yeah, go ahead.
At Shut Up Tim on Twitter said Guy Pearce old age makeup is inexcusable. And I agree, and we'll see, how he feels about Emilio Estevez old age makeup. Yeah.
For the record, I think the old age makeup held up pretty well for 20 years, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm. And a few people, including at Miss EEC on Twitter, wrote to me to say perfect timing for this episode because Young Guns was airing back to back on AMC this week.
That is true.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah.
And Vote Zach Taylor on Twitter said, "Oh, Henry, you loved The Counselor. I felt like I was witnessing Ridley Scott attempting to make a David Lynch film."
Interesting.
Wow. That's a good perspective.
That's actually a really good perspective.
There you go. At Ellerman JW on Twitter said, "Just finished the Predator episodes. Can't believe you guys didn't mention Bill Paxton's Weird Science Chet as an a-hole Chet. Good point." Because remember we talked about how all Chets suck.
No, we weren't. We were talking about all Bretts.
Oh, you're right.
Brett Ratner. Brett.
Right. All right. Leave me alone.
I'm not leaving. Yeah, I'm just saying.
A lot of people like the Alien episodes, so that's mostly what we got going on.
Oh, that's
this week.
good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Good.
Okay. Leave us a 5-star rating or review on iTunes. A few of you did this week. Not reviews, just ratings. That's all we're asking for.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm proud of everybody. I mean, not everybody, but
No, certainly not everybody, because I know how many of you people listen to this thing.
Yeah, man. Get
And
together.
in less colorful language, do the same for the Rocky podcast. Come on, I don't know what the deal is. I have the listeners, but nobody cares enough to say anything about it.
That's right,
man. You're dealing with the same stuff we are.
Oh yeah, I feel your angst every time you do it. I try to channel it to my listeners in a little bit less colorful way, but maybe I should get more colorful.
Yeah, and make sure you do listen to the Going the Distance podcast on iTunes and follow at GTD Rocky Podcast on Twitter.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're at Ryan Rabalkin?
Yes.
Yeah. You can follow me at Low Stakes Daniel and the show at Pod Franchise. You can email us at thefranchisepod@gmail.com.
And you can download us on your Android at CastBox.
And what's coming next week, Hank?
Oh, man,
That's
I'm
right.
excited.
We're going to need a bigger podcast. Oh, baby. That's right. Jaws and Jaws 2 next week on the franchise.
And I believe that wasn't that the first movie we ever watched together, Dan?
Certainly when we lived together, yeah.
Yeah.
Jaws, one of my all-time favorite movies. I have seen Jaws 3 and Jaws the Revenge. I've never seen Jaws 2.
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in like 20 years, so. No.
All right, so that'll be next week. We'll rip open the old Spielberg can of worms. And that's it. Listen to the director's cut of this episode on the Going the Distance podcast. That's it for this week, guys. You know, Ryan, Henry, you obviously understand the meaning of the word pals.
Aw. Love it.
Very nice. Thank you, Ryan, for being on our show, man.
Hey, really, guys, thank you so much. It was a real pleasure, and I hope I didn't throw off your chemistry too much, because I had just as much fun listening to you as chiming in. So really, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Good app.
Happy trails.
Happy trails, Ryan.
Happy trails.
They say that no man is an island, and good things come to those who wait. But the things I hear are there just to remind me, every dog will have his day. The spirits, they intoxicate me. I watch them infiltrate my soul. They tried to say it's too late for me. Tell my guns I'm coming home. I swear I'm gonna live forever. Tell my maker he can wait. I'm riding somewhere south of heaven, headed back to Santa Fe. It's Judgment Day in Santa Fe. Once I was promised absolution. There's only one solution for my sins. You gotta face your